CJ Peterson, and welcome to the Treehouse. Today's book we're going to be reading, Charlie, What's Your Talent? Written by D.C. Gomez, illustrated by Kathleen Gomez. But before we get to our book, we have to meet our resident little guys. First, there's Chief. Chief is our cuddler. He loves climbing trees and eucalyptus leaves, and of course, we don't have very many of those in Texas, so trying to find those for the poor little guy is often difficult, so he has to compromise on what he treats on. And then there's Sarge. Sarge is our silly little guy who loves climbing trees, loves bananas. He and Chief also love going on adventures, and you can find those adventures on my website at cjpetersonwrites.com under Chief and Sarge. We're also working on a children's book for him too. That should be coming out soon. During those real life adventures, we've taken him to the Grand Canyon. We've taken him to different military bases. We've taken him on a cruise. We take them all over, and they just have a lot of fun. If you see us around, don't forget to stop and ask which picture taken with them, and you'll see yourself on their social media pages. Well, when I got this book, Charlie, What's Your Talent? I read through it and I thought, there's a lot of really cool ideas in this, and I had to share it with you guys. So let's start reading Charlie, What's Your Talent by D.C. Gomez. Once upon a time, there lived a young boy named Charlie in a small cottage with his grandma. Every morning, Charlie's grandma would walk him from the cottage to the little school in their village. At the end of the day, she would pick him up. One Friday afternoon, when Grandma went to pick Charlie up, she found him crying on the steps of the school. "What's the matter, Charlie?" she asked. "I hate school, and I never want to come back," replied Charlie. Very confused, Grandma looked around for an answer. Charlie had always loved school. Grandma wondered what happened. I wonder what happened. Let's find out. "Oh, honey, how about we go home? I got a pie cooling." Oh, that's always a good answer. If something happens, there's always pie and ice cream. Grandma said very lovingly. She smiled at him and kissed his forehead. She asked very carefully, "What happened today?" "Kids were laughing at me," Charlie replied in a whisper. "Kids can be very mean at times," Grandma replied as she squeezed Charlie's hand and continued in a soft voice. "Can you tell me more?" "I have no talent," Charlie growled. Charlie told Grandma how they had a talent show at school, and he couldn't sing, dance, run, paint, or even hula hoop. Charlie started crying again. "Grandma, I must be useless," said Charlie in tears. "Oh, Charlie, you are not useless, and you have plenty of talents," Grandma told Charlie. "Really? Like what?" Charlie asked. See, not all talents are the same. "I have a better idea than just telling you," Grandma said to Charlie. "I want you to spend the weekend doing everything you love to do, and each night, write it down. On Sunday, we will go over your list." Charlie was very confused, but he agreed. The weekend was beautiful. Charlie had a fabulous time. In the morning, he helped Grandma work in the vegetable garden. He took care of the chickens and played with the dogs. In the afternoon, he swam in the pond and even went fishing. In the evening, Charlie helped bake pies and loaves of bread. Well, golly gee, sounds kind of talented to me. Sunday afternoon, Grandma and Charlie sat together to go over the list. Charlie was sad. "Grandma, none of the stuff I wrote are talents," Charlie said, almost crying. "Charlie, tell me, what is a talent?" Grandma asked Charlie. The stuff you work really hard to be good at," Charlie replied. "Charlie, would you ever try to make a fish fly?" Grandma asked very calmly. Well, that's an interesting question. Where is she going with this? Let's find out. "Grandma, of course not," answered Charlie. "Do you think fish are good swimmers?" Grandma asked. "They are amazing, but they were born to swim," Charlie replied, wondering what was wrong with his grandma. Well, of course, because they were born to swim. That's what they do naturally. "Exactly, Charlie. Just like a fish, we are all born with our own unique talents. Sometimes we take them for granted because they come too easily to us, but they are still talents. Charlie looked closely at Grandma before glancing down at his list. Well, she seems like a very wise woman. After a long moment, Charlie asked, "Is baking a talent?" With a huge grin, Grandma replied, "Of course, dear. My brother couldn't even boil water." They both laughed and started going over Charlie's list. After a short time, Charlie found out he was very talented. He could swim, fish, put anything together, and he could even make great desserts. Ooh, yum. That night, he decided to use his talents to surprise his class. Charlie was going to bring the class the most delicious chocolate chip muffins they ever had. Well, that was very smart of him. The next day, Charlie had a fantastic day at school. Everyone loved his muffins. Charlie also found out that he was not the only student who couldn't find his talents on Friday. That must have been a rough weekend for a lot of people. His teacher was so impressed with his grandma's project that she asked the other students to do it as well. Charlie was pleased to help his friends find their talent. The end for now. Reflection time. The cool thing about this book, parents, is the very end of it, because you learn the lesson and you actually apply it on this end. There are things like describe what does having a talent mean to you. Spend a day or two writing down all the things you enjoy doing. It doesn't matter how big or how small those things are, just put them down on the page. Now, with the help of an adult, look at your list and write down all the different talents you have from the things you enjoy doing. Some talents have to be developed in order for us to get good at it. Which one of your talents would you like to grow? And how would you do it? If possible, answer these questions with the help of an adult. Some talents are best when you share with others, like Charlie. Which one of your talents would you like to share with those around you? You can have more than one on this list. Now, how would you help others find their talents and joy in life? You can be as creative as possible here. Have fun with your ideas. I love how DC applied the lesson that was learned. I think that's brilliant. Parents, you can find DC online at www.dcgomez-author.com. And you can also see her other listings for Facebook, Instagram, and Amazon.com author page. Again, that's www.dcgomez-author.com. So what kind of talents do you have? All right, Chief and Sarge. Besides the talent of mischief, which we know they are brilliant at, what talents do you guys have? Really, Sarge says he can cook. And he's made some really good muffins, so I actually believe him on that. His favorite are, you guessed it, banana nut. What about you, Sarge? What do you like to do? What's your talent? Chief is more of a down-to-earth sort of guy. He's kind of more into the soul. He actually likes to write and to draw, and he's actually pretty good at both. So what are you good at? Do you like to write? Do you like to draw? Do you like to bake? Do you like to swim? Do you like sports? Do you like music? There's so many things in this world that you can do and that you're actually good at. Check out these books, parents. Charlie, what's your talent? There's other ones in this series that would be kind of interesting to check out as well. So thank you guys for joining us today for the reading of Charlie, What's Your Talent? And thank you for coming to the Treehouse. I'm CJ Peterson of cjpetersonwrites.com. Until next time.